prize-winning, recently awarded SOS team, please come up and talk about how does student leadership shape identity?
Just about see me then, so there you go. Hello everybody, still awake? We're going to get you moving later, so not to give us too big a build-up. So we are going to be looking at how can student leadership shape identity. And the reason we've chosen this is because we are very privileged in our roles to work with student leaders at Bloomsbury Institute, and also very privileged to witness their journeys through that student leadership experience. So we're going to hear from two student leaders, live student leaders, who are going to be up here a little bit later on, who are going to share their journeys with us, with you and with us, of course, again. So, in researching definitions for student leadership, it's a little bit like definitions for leadership, which is there are many and it is evolving. But I came across these two particular definitions, and I thought the first one was quite practical in terms of what, for example, what PAL leaders do, peer-assisted learning leaders at Bloomsbury Institute. But I like the second one. I like the words in there, like empowered, positive influence upon their peers, and also, you know, the less intimidating, more accessible to fellow undergraduates. And that, you know, at Bloomsbury Institute, we aim as support staff and as academics to be as accessible as we can be, and to, you know, be open to listening to our students as we strive to do that, and we're very passionate about it. But we also recognise the power of peer support, and we value it highly. And it's because it's incredibly important. That whole holistic form of support is really, really important.
So we've got, for a small institution, we've actually got a really huge amount of different opportunities for students to take student leadership positions. So we've got a kind of graphic here that describes some of them. We've got PAL leaders, we've got peer advisors, we've got student representatives, we've got student president. NASA, who is here, is the representative student president for this year. And we also have the Guild Society presidents as well. And this is a really huge kind of cross-section of the student body that we have, and it's not exclusive. If you're a student rep, you can also then go on to be a peer advisor or a PAL leader. So there are lots of different ways that you can be a student leader and lots of different effects that you can have on your fellow students. I mean, next we're going to really talk about some of the different ways that all of these opportunities that Bloomsbury Institute provides to our students can help in kind of theoretical terms, I guess. If we'd, like to continue.
Yeah. So these are, we put together this model of what are the personal factors or gains that can help shape identity for students who are engaging in student leadership. And to be slightly self-interested here, I'm just going to say this, but in the recent research that I conducted amongst students at Bloomsbury Institute, the findings were that some of the students who became PAL leaders actually strongly identified as part of a team. Their identity became quite strongly connected to this PAL team, and also they had a powerful sense of a group purpose in supporting other students. Now that can really enhance their sense of belonging, and it did enhance their sense of belonging at the Institute. Increased self-awareness. So we also encourage our leaders, our student leaders, to engage in reflection and reflective practice, which can also help to increase their self-awareness. So, for example, you know, what their weaknesses are, what their strengths are, what their personal strengths are, but identifying areas for development and helping them to further develop. Identifying those will help them to further develop personally and professionally. And finally, The importance of promoting regular reflective practice in our student leaders' experiences is essential, and I'm going to quote Jack Mesereau here, who's one of my favourites. I'm a bit of a Mesereau groupie. And he says, "We transform our frames of reference, our world paradigm, through critical reflection on our assumptions, upon which we base our interpretations, our beliefs, our habits of mind, or points of view." So this can help to develop a deeper meaning making for us in the phenomena which we experience, like student leadership, and can effectively trigger transformative learning.
And the next part of the flower, we're calling it, the flower of student leadership, is this idea of personal growth. And this is something that it's really nice actually to present kind of at the end of the conference, not just because we're closer to getting a drink at the end, but also because we get to hear all of the different kind of intersecting thoughts. And Namdi, you mentioned intersectionality briefly in your presentation just now. And personal growth is something that's come up again and again in today's talks, and it's something that is really intrinsic to a sense of identity, and it's something that comes up in student leadership very predominantly. So the feeling that students, once they have taken a step on the student leadership journey, will then take another step and another. And that won't just benefit us as an institution, but it will benefit them as individuals as well. And it all ties into this idea of self-efficacy, the idea that you can be more proactive, potentially, but you're also better equipped to deal with challenges. You're better equipped to deal with everything that life could possibly throw at you, because you have developed and practiced this kind of basically the kind of learning techniques that you really need to do in order to be a peer advisor, for example, a PAL leader. And it all comes up again to this idea of confidence. And this is a word that we've heard again and again from the beginning, the welcome speech that Tom gave, all the way up to Collar and his talk about the importance of confidence, and Namdi, you talking about how we really just want to impart confidence to our students in as many ways as we can. And one of the great things about Bloomsbury Institute is that we provide these platforms for students to develop their confidence, like within the student leadership, many student leadership schemes that we have running here.
So we're going to do an activity. Don't worry, we're not going to get you running around the room. You only have to go up and down, okay? So I'm going to be the glamorous assistant.
Yeah.
First time I've been called that one. But,
Sarah's going to be our Carol Vorderman, so keep eyes on her. We'd like you to think about a time that you assumed a leadership role. It doesn't really matter what sector. It can be leading on a team, it can be leading on a project, it can be participating in a course committee, it can be the time that you presented for the first time or gave a first lecture, presented to your peers, just leading a group activity. I'd like you to think about that time. I'm going to give you 5 seconds or so. Okay, good. And then I'd like you to think about these words on the screen at the moment. How did you feel after you completed that? Because Sarah is going to hold up some of these words. And in a second, I would like you to stand up when the word that you felt comes up. So if you felt motivated after your first leadership experience, I'd like you to stand up. Yeah? Come on, I know it's the end of the day. You can do it. Motivated? Any takers? Okay. You don't need to just pick one, by the way. You can do more than one if you like. If you felt fulfilled, please stand up. Yeah. And if you felt empowered, please stand up. Oh. And finally, last but not least, if you felt an increased awareness of who you were as a person, please stand up. Give yourselves a round of applause. That was hard.
So we're now going to hear, are we not, from our student leaders. These two wonderful peer-assisted learning leaders from last year have been very kindly agreed to come and share a little of their journey with you. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Claudia and Georgiana up onto the stage to share their journey with you.
Good afternoon, all. Right. I'm just going to read a few what I wrote about myself coming to uni. Right. Before I became a student representative and PALS advisor, I was a very shy person and one that would not speak in front of a crowd. But many may say they didn't recognize or realize that I was describing that person. But the truth is, it was. Until one day, after always complaining of what was going on in the lecture room, I was encouraged by a lecturer, that past lecturer Usha. The best way to raise my concern and things to be effective is to become a student representative. I thought about it and decided to take up the challenge. Student representative was advertised, and I applied, and the rest is history. A year later, I applied to become an accounting student representative at the Student Guild. In doing the training, my self-awareness was increased, and what my capabilities are, and what I could offer in terms of helping others, and what ideas I could bring forward. Also, I felt motivated and excited to participate in the meetings where I could bring other students' concerns and issues to management. This made a difference because management knew what was going wrong and action was taken to resolve the issues or concerns. One of my biggest hurdles was speaking in front of a classroom, which was a challenge for me. By doing the training, I was able to overcome the fear of speaking in front of a classroom and speak to students and answer questions, which I could not do before. I would prefer sit in the audience and speak. I have almost overcome that fear. Becoming a PAL leader has helped me build my confidence immensely. There, I was able to bring in my leadership skills to help other students to understand further with their coursework and guide them in various services university provides. Engaging with other students, I felt that I was helping the university in transforming students' lives for the better. On a personal note, being involved with the university activities has helped me immensely with my personal growth in building my confidence, especially speaking in an audience. As a PAL leader, I was able to join the PALS conference with other PAL leaders globally whilst representing Bloomsbury Institute. By doing this, it has helped me to enhance my skills, networking, volunteering, and with other organizations. I would like to thank all the lecturers who have helped me through this journey and helped my skills, namely Nick, Sarah, Cordelia, Carl, Nadia Mubasha, and past lecturer Usha and Asif. And now I am about to graduate as a first-class degree in finance and management accounting. Thank you, Bloomsbury Institute, for giving me the opportunity to achieve my potential in academia and leadership. Thank you.
Hello there. I was catched there. Emotions. I do apologize for being nervous if I do any mistakes, but I'm a human, so I'm allowed to do mistakes. Thank you for inviting me here today to talk about student leadership, a subject which is absolutely central to our ability to thrive in a world of increasing complexity and accelerating change. During my studies in Bloomsbury and my extracurricular activities, I have learned that leadership means having the self-confidence to believe you can make a difference, the passion to believe it matters, and the courage to risk it all because you believe it matters. From the beginning of my time in Bloomsbury, I knew I want to become more involved. The first opportunity I had was as a student rep. In my manifesto applying for this position, I had promised my fellow students that I will be available for them 24/7. I am still standing by my promise, even though that position ended in 2019. This helped my personal growth and increased my self-awareness, giving me motivation to go further and become a student trustee. Those two positions gave me the confidence that I would be a good candidate for a PAL leader, a role which I took on in 2019. And I went on to work as a peer advisor in Student Guild as well, which helped me find my identity. That's where it started. As we are talking about identity, there is where I find my identity. I had no identity. Later on, I took on the Equality Society leader position, which was giving me more chances to attend meetings such as Widening and Participation Forum and Bloomsbury Institute Board of Directors meetings. I believe that leaders should not be defined simply by their popularity, but by their willingness to take risk, by their ability to share credits, the strength to admit errors, and their willingness to pick themselves up and keep leading, motivating, and empowering their team. The leadership skills that I have gained over the years taught me that ethics and honesty matters. Leadership cannot lead without others. Although you should never be afraid to stand alone, as a leader, you should work to bring everyone to the table. Thank you.
How do you follow that?
Right. Oh, we can't. I mean,
We can't follow it.
So, this, I guess, just to round up, shows that kind of cycle of leadership that both Georgiana and Claudia expressed so movingly just then. It's not a one-off. You don't assume a leadership position and that's it. It forms a cycle, and it's a cycle of self-empowerment, and I think we just all witnessed how incredibly powerful that is.
So to finish off, there's plenty of scholarship around your actual transferable skills, employability skills, but there's some things that, and we wanted to look at, which was the deeper effects on self. And we've just, of course, by being privileged to witness the journeys of the two ladies who've just spoken, I think that, like Cordelia says, you can see that it has a deeper impact on identity and self. So our institute, of which we're really proud to be part of, provides opportunity, as we know, to people who wouldn't normally have access to higher education, and we support them to define and pursue success through education. But we believe also by promoting leadership opportunities and encouraging more of our students to become leaders, we're also helping them to become more personally effective, you know, as well as developing their academic skills. It's more of a holistic development, which we truly believe in, we all truly believe in. And, you know, hopefully experience transformation in self, which will help them to become more ready for what the world has to throw at them, really. So thank you very much for listening to all of us, and thank you very much to you too. Come on. Thank you.